When my CEO wife Nina found out I'd handed a multi-million-dollar project to her favorite assistant Zach, she thought her 3-month silent treatment finally broke me. She was so happy, she suggested we fly to Iceland for the honeymoon we'd been putting off forever. But when Zach heard about it, he got jealous and threatened to quit. Nina freaked out and spent 3 days and nights calming him down. Then she canceled our honeymoon again, said it was a business trip, and gave him my ticket instead. Later, she brushed it off like it was nothing. Romance isn't that important. Work comes first. I'm the boss. I have to make tough calls. You're my husband. You should get that. I looked at Zach's latest post, him and Nina leaning close, hands making a heart shape, and said nothing. Just nodded. She figured I'd finally gotten with the program. Even promised me a better honeymoon when they got back. What she didn't know? I'd already quit. The divorce papers were signed. We were done. The day after Nina and Zach left for their honeymoon, I finished my handover, went to HR, and wrapped up my resignation. 10 minutes later, I got a notification. Request approved. Nina Wynn. Guess Miss Wynn wanted him gone for a while. Took him long enough to figure it out, right? He was just making her life harder. Better he leaves now. Besides, he's the CEO's husband. Even if he quits and sits at home forever, he'll never run out of her money. My coworkers watched me pack like I was free entertainment. You could hear the jealousy dripping from their voices. I was used to it. Everyone knew Zach and I didn't get along, and Nina always took his side. She'd embarrass me in front of the whole office just to make him happy. So everyone piled on me, trying to score points with her golden boy. I let out a dry laugh. Hate to break it to you, I said, but I'm leaving for something better. Another company's paying me double. Better benefits too. I didn't stick around to watch their faces drop. I grabbed my stuff and walked out. I hadn't even made it to the front gate when my phone rang. Nina. I was still figuring out how to explain my resignation when I picked up. But before I could say anything, she cut in. I just sent you a file. Get it done in an hour. She didn't even know I'd quit. I almost laughed. Opened the attachment. It was the exact same project I'd given up for Zach. Same old story. Zach gets the credit, I do the work. Something goes wrong, that's on me too. I used to push back, but Nina would guilt trip me, pressure me, do whatever it took. When I held my ground, she'd give me the cold shoulder, then stay up late doing the work herself, acting like she was carrying the world. I couldn't stand watching her run herself into the ground, so I always caved. I kept thinking one day she'd see everything I'd done for her, but this time, for Zach's promotion, she'd fought with me, ignored me for 3 months, and didn't even show up when I was in the hospital with a 104-degree fever. All because she wanted to force me to hand over a project I'd spent a month landing. That's when something inside me just died. I'm not at the office, I said flatly. Not at the office? Nina's voice went ice cold. Last time I checked, it's work hours, Darren. You know the policy. Leave without permission, you lose a day's pay. I know, but I already. Before I could finish, I heard another voice through the phone. Soft, sweet, unmistakable. Miss Wynn, if Darren doesn't want to do it, don't push him. I can handle it. Zach said, no way. Nina's tone warmed up instantly, a complete 180 from how she just talked to me. You were up half the night. You need rest. Zach kept insisting he was fine, but Nina shut him down. I'm the boss. When I tell you to rest, you rest. You gonna argue with me? I just don't want Darren to overwork himself, Zach said. Overwork? Him? Nina laughed. You're traveling and still doing contracts while he sits in the office doing nothing all day. Then she added, almost amused. Besides, he's my husband. Isn't working hard exactly what he should be doing? One sentence. That's all it took to erase everything I'd ever done. I didn't feel angry anymore. No jealousy. No heartbreak. Just numb. There'd been too many moments like this. When I didn't respond, Nina softened her voice, thinking she'd won. Darren, you think I'm just dumping work on you? I'm trying to help you grow. You're my husband. You should show more drive around here. Take notes from Zach. He worked until 4 a.m. last night. I've never met someone so young, so talented, and so dedicated. Zach chimed in, smiling. I think Darren's great too. But there was something condescending in his voice. Nina didn't notice. She laughed again. If he was half as good as you, I'd be thrilled. Don't forget you're the one who pulled off every project this year. The two of them were so in sync it was almost funny. I stayed quiet. What was the point? Every project this year had been taken from me and handed to Zach. Nina knew that. She just pretended not to. In her mind, 5 years of marriage meant I'd never leave her over something so small. Anyway, Zach and I have a business dinner. Finish the work and send it over as soon as possible. She hung up before I could say anything. 2 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Zach had posted again. Candlelit dinner. Fancy restaurant. Nina leaning her head on his shoulder. A small gift box in front of him, just the right size for a ring. I scrolled down. Another post from last night. Time-stamped 4 a.m. The two of them drinking and laughing at a bar. So that's what Nina meant by working until 4 a.m. They were out partying. And tonight's business dinner was obviously a date. I let out a quiet, empty laugh. I couldn't even bring myself to confront her anymore. What was the point? She always had an excuse ready. Even if I backed her into a corner with the facts, I wouldn't get an apology, just more silence. Every single time, I was the one who had to crawl back and make peace. Looking back, I should have spent that energy figuring out how to make more money instead. Money doesn't betray you. People do. With that thought, I walked out of Wynn Group, already planning my next move. I barely pulled out of the parking garage when my phone buzzed. Payment alert. Nina had charged 20 grand on my card. Again, everyone assumed I married Nina for her money. Truth is, she controlled all my cards. She said her income had to go back into the company, so for years everything rent, food, bills, gifts, daily stuff came out of my paycheck and side gigs. I figured a man should step up for his family, so I never complained. Until recently, when I noticed something weird. I made good money, more than enough, but I had nothing saved, not a cent. I was always broke. Finally, I checked my statements. That's when I found out Nina had been using my card to buy gifts for Zach. A gaming console, thousands of dollars, a custom suit, over 10 grand. On his birthday, she booked an entire floor at the Aurelia Grand over 100,000 just for his party. Meanwhile, I'd been wearing the same underwear underwear for 2 months. She wouldn't replace them. Anything over $100 was too expensive. For my birthdays, she'd scribble a card and say she was saving for our future. I finally snapped and called her out. Nina went cold, accused me of not trusting her, gave me the silent treatment, swore she'd never touch my money again. Thinking about all that, I called her anyway. I called over 10 times. She didn't pick up once, so I stopped hesitating and went straight to the bank to report my card lost. Less than a minute later, Nina called back. I was busy, didn't see your calls. What's up? She played dumb. Already handled it, I said. Oh, a pause. Your card's not working. It's frozen. I know. I froze it. Why would you do that? You got nothing better to do? Maybe. But didn't you say you'd never use my card again? She had nothing to say. I'd never once fought with her about money before Zach came into the picture. Back when she first started Wynn Group, I got really sick. Surgery cost $100,000. Right around then, she'd secretly dumped all her savings into a project and lost everything. She thought I'd lose it. Instead, I held her and told her money was no big deal. What's mine is yours. Use it. I thought loving her completely would make our marriage stronger. All it did was show her how far she could push me. Nina didn't think that deep. After a few seconds of silence, she sighed. Fine. I get it. You're still mad about the honeymoon. You're throwing a tantrum. Darren, I thought you'd grown up. Turns out you're still this petty. I promise after this I'll drop everything and go on that honeymoon with you, okay? I didn't bring my card today. Unfreeze yours now. Stop being dramatic. Tonight's dinner is really important. Just to make sure I'd listen, she added one last threat before hanging up. You have 10 minutes. If you don't do it, I'm going to be pissed.